Recording in progress.
Okay, I'll call to order this regular meeting of the San Mateo County Harbor District Board of Harbor Commissioners for December 20th, 2023. Can we have a roll call, please?
President Zemke,
Present.
Commissioner Domrat,
Here.
Commissioner Matoush,
Here.
Commissioner Chancralli,
Present.
Commissioner Slater Carter.
Here.
Okay. We'll have an opportunity for public comment. Not seeing any members of the public present, we will move along to commissioner comments. Any commissioners that would like to make a comment at this time? Be a pretty uneventful week.
Yeah,
They made comments last week, so
I'll make a comment. I have a comment. I'll make a quick comment. And I mean, it's tangential to the Harbor District, but I do want to give thanks to Jim again. So yesterday, at our fire board meeting, there was a Maui County Councilwoman who came on and spoke. And I did a State of the District address. And I thanked you, Jim, again, for helping connect in your role and previous roles, just the shipping company Matson with this. And just so you know, people are so grateful for the help that they got from a wider community. And I just want to thank you again, Jim. And she started tearing up online when she spoke, and it just means a lot. And there was a woman from the Rotary Club of Kihei Wailea who was there, and she brought a card. And just know that the entire island of Maui is just very grateful. And I want to thank you for being a part of that, because it was a very important part of the logistical dealings that we had to look at.
I just made a phone call.
I know, but it was significant, so thank you.
Context for everything.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Then to activity reports. Jim, would you like to start this off?
Nothing other than what's in my report, with the exception of the launch ramp properties that we've been working on for a while now will be closing next week. So we're very, very close to sealing that deal and making it a reality. Great news.
Truly historic.
Yes. Jim?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Jim, people are asking about the timing of, the dredging thing again, so I don't know if you want to say something in public about that, if there's any update.
We're working through the permitting, but John will be able to give you a precise answer to that. I know
In terms of
the
timing.
still a concern.
Yeah, that people, just the public, I've heard from some people, and they just want to, what's the
Our
timing
goal
of
is still
it?
spring 2024, but
Yeah.
it's fast, it's approaching fast.
Yeah.
Consultant Damitz has been doing a wonderful job keeping things on that same time frame.
Yeah.
In fact, we just got some more feedback from the permitting agencies, and at Jim's request, Brad did give me another update, and as General Manager just stated, we're still in the same time frame. So,
And that time frame is set somewhat by the Harbor District, but mostly by the regulations and the environmental rules.
exactly, yeah,
The permitting.
yeah, permitting agencies.
Mainly the environment for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
eelgrass planting season.
And I think we need to make that part of any talking point on this, because people are always, I've heard people say, oh, you never get anything done, this is taking so long. And I'm going, do you know about eelgrass? Here, let me give you a lecture. And it's not us.
A lot of it was buried last winter, so, which made our job a little bit smaller.
Well, and it may get buried again this winter, given the amount of rain we have
getting
had.
now. Only in the last week.
Needs more, it's inside our harbor too.
Right.
If you
Sand
want
is deeper.
if you don't have a rain gauge here, MWSD is associated with the National Weather Service, and there is a rain gauge on our website. If you go to mwsd.montera.org, then scroll down, go to weather and scroll down, you'll see two different rain gauges. At the bottom one is the National Weather Service at Montero Beach.
That it, Jim?
That is it.
Okay, we'll move on to operations. John?
Point Harbor's averaging occupancies still staying right around 90%. Obviously, as everybody can probably already see, that the crab pots are all staged, poised for commercial crab season to start as soon as it's allowed. My understanding is that tomorrow they're going to be coming out with, after, you know, their evaluations, their flyovers for whale activity. They're gonna be coming out tomorrow, and telling us when they believe the crab season will be able to open. So should be a update coming out very soon. As everybody's aware as well, we had the holiday boat festival, lighted boat festival again, which was a tremendous success. Thanks to Melanie, Michelle, and the Pillar Point Harbor team in general, and the general manager, of course, at his direction, we had a very good turnout, and it was just a great event, and we may be definitely having it again next year, and maybe having one similar at Oyster Point, because we have had them in the past at Oyster Point as well, so we're not forgetting about Oyster Point. Staff at Pillar Point and Oyster Point have been working diligently, checking on boats with all this rain that we've had. We've had several vessels that are unattended by the owners, and staff have heard high water alarms going off and observed the water lines a little lower than they should be, and pumped out several boats, saving them from sinking. Harbor Master Smith and Assistant Harbor Master Jacob Walding at Oyster Point and their team, and then again at Pillar Point, Chris Tibby, Harbor Master, and Dante Madrigal and their team. Just doing a tremendous job maintaining the docks, keeping up with all of the challenges with regard to the rain, the storms at both facilities. Oyster Point's hovering around a great occupancy as well, close to 80%, which is great. We're getting a lot more interest in people keeping their boats there, which is great. Have anything further?
Okay.
Can I make a comment?
Yes.
I just want to add some tags to what just told to us about the lighting. There were a record, I believe it was a record number of 43 boats.
Yeah.
that-
We had to judge all 43.
Yeah, there was
And
10.
10 of them had RSVP,
11.
or 11.
Yeah.
And the other 43 probably just got in the mood and put some lights on there. And that doesn't count the decorated kayaks.
Right, that were on the
that
water.
were on the water and moving through the boats.
They were so cute, too.
And there were folks from the Half Moon Bay Yacht Club doing that. And maybe next year we could actually figure out a way to give an honorary mention to things like kayaks and whatever other
Stand-up
things.
paddle
Stand-up
boards, if they're doing
stand-up
that.
paddle boards, that would be wonderful. Say, I met people from all over the Bay Area, lots of people from local, but it shows to me the impact and the publicity that we are doing is having an impact, and people from all over the Bay Area. This is their harbor district too. So they came over, and I can hardly wait until we have, so that more people can attend these events. It was a family-friendly event. People brought their well-behaved dogs. And the children were also very well-behaved. I was very, very impressed by the joy that was just, that this little event that you guys put together created for so many people, and I look forward to us. Do we have a Facebook page that we put that on?
We do have social media. I'm not certain that we've, Melanie would, and she's not here right now, I don't know if she's, but she's kind of been, and Rochelle been, taking care of our social media.
Yeah, great job,
That's
too.
good. I'm so old, I recognize Facebook, but I know there's a whole lot more newer ones that younger people read, so.
But John, just so you know, we're not saying a lot because we gave this report last time,
Yeah.
last
On
week,
11.
but just know that we're very appreciative of what the staff did because it was incredible. The event
Well,
was
we
incredible.
might have new viewers, so I like to repeat things, it's advertising.
And I think as part of that, it would be interesting to solicit comments from people who attended somehow. Maybe through our website, send a comment in on how we can improve it, what people thought versus us, what we think, what the people who attended thought, could have been done better, for the future and maybe in the next X.
We've already gathered input from staff, but it'd be great to get from the public as well.
I'm not sure how to do that. Maybe we solicit through our webpage, if you've had any
Yeah.
comments, please send them in or something.
I actually posted this on my social media and I've gotten only positive feedback. I mean, I think I mentioned this last time, that Mariah Betancourt, who does the cupcakes from Fish Wife Sweets, she's like, I had such a great time. It's great to see all these kids there, and I'm gonna have to bring twice as much food next year. She completely sold out. And then Cassandra Clark wrote something and she thought it was great as well. So hearing that from one of our tenants was very positive.
Definitely the most active I've seen the event in my
Oh, God. What was
8
the
years here.
First time in what?
Yeah, 3 years.
3 or 4 years, so it was great. So kudos to the staff for doing
Especially
all that.
Rochelle and Melanie.
Yeah.
I saw both of them
Getting all of that put together.
standing nonstop with the activities at the little tables for the kids.
We didn't even get to go because we were judging. There were so many boats.
Yeah.
It exceeded the
We've
2
got
hours.
ideas- We've got ideas as well with regard to making the judging a little easier. It'd be easier, we're thinking, if the judges were in our rescue vessel, and then you could just go down the fairways, judging the vessels, or judging all the lights from the boat, make it go a little faster.
Yeah, but
It's
it
a way
was
to
nice
control
to
wandering
talk to
board
people too.
Yeah.
Yeah, wandering board members.
Another option would be to do the judging the night before. So that the judges, the boats would be probably decorated the night before. That would be
We'll
the
come
Friday
up with
night.
an operational
We've
plan
got
before
plans,
the next
yeah,
meeting
yeah.
that we'll all discuss.
Another
this is-
suggestion, let's get special judges from around we are all from around the county, but let's maybe invite judges from
Well, we used to
other
do
local
that.
governments and let the board members wander.
I don't know. Let's talk about that one.
I think the only thing that we're missing is mentioning that this was an absolute record number of people that ever attended this event, more people than have ever been seen, and it absolutely amazed me and others. It was just a tremendous number of people that enjoyed that evening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as we close this topic out with, I just want to mention the artistic talents of our harbor master, deputy harbor masters.
Yeah.
With all the lighting that was put
Yeah.
up,
They
that's
were
never been
amazing.
done before. So that really put everybody in the mood, and the boaters in the mood to put up their lights. So we did a lot of the coordinating up here, but they did a lot of the work hands-on.
Pride went into
They
it.
did a great job.
Yeah.
Training Officer Smith actually came up with the ideas for the lighting, Christmas tree lighting on the poles.
That was great.
Well, I hope they had fun doing that too, Jim.
Did a great job, so I assume so.
It was it was clear that they were very proud of doing what they did and wanted to show off the harbor, which is always wonderful.
Missed the hooey cat, though.
I know, Tom.
I could have sent pictures.
No, not the same, not the same.
But no, we could put a wall with past entries
I don't know.
and
Let's-
put photos on it.
That'd be fun.
and people could just wander past it. Again,
That's a good
it
idea.
helps show how long this event has been going
Yeah,
and the excitement from the past. And it might give other people, that's something we could actually put up a week early. So boat owners, if they happen to be here, could look at it and get ideas.
Do we have a plan to put like a little section in, on the website where we have pictures from the event and then who the winners were and the picture of the winning boat? On the
I'll
webpage?
get with Melanie.
Something like that, yeah. Then we can advertise, take a look at our website, which gives advertising for the website, which will bring up the point that maybe we talk more about the website, what other things we want, how often we should update it, those kind of things. But this kind of thing is, you let people know where it is, they'll come, they'll see pictures of all of the activities, and then the winners, the top 3 or top 5, or however you want to do it.
Don't know.
Actually, I think everybody won.
Everybody wins.
We declare everybody a winner.
That's something.
I won. I got a wonderful evening.
Okay. We can move along to administrative and finance. Julie?
President, Zemke, Commissioners. The administrative staff has been working really hard. We're getting very close to having our financial audit report completed. We are moving along with automating our budget document. We're moving along with remodeling and replacing some of the outdated office furnitures. The next phases of that is going to be replacing the carpet and putting new coat of paint on the offices. We have done a lot of work on making electronic copies of our record retention. We have a little bit more to go. We've been having these kind of monthly, what we call paper parties, and all of the staff pitches in, and we just go and we scan things and get rid of stuff that we don't want. So we're going to continue to do that, and as you can see on this agenda, making good progress on updating some of our policies that haven't been updated for some years. So,
I love the lactation,
Oh.
lactation
I know,
policy
I
on
do
the
too.
consent agenda.
been missing, so that's a good addition. And thank you, Rochelle, for working so hard on that.
Wonderful. It's nice to see our policies getting brought up to date. That's been something I have for in all public boards, because life goes on and you forget to write down the policies for the next people. That's good.
Okay. Any other further public comment on any of the activity reports, or any commissioner comments on the activity reports? I assume we have not received any public comments. Melanie, you wouldn't know.
No, we have not.
Okay, we've not reached, so we can go then along to the next item, which is the consent calendar.
Motion to approve the
Okay,
consent
hold on.
calendar
I
as
wanna-
it stands.
I want to pull one
Okay.
item.
What item would you like to pull?
7.
Number 7, we will pull number 7, and I will place that at the end of the F discussion items, make that number 4. Any other items that wish to be pulled?
Motion to approve items 1 through 6.
I'll second that.
Okay. Did we have any public comments on the consent items? Melanie?
No public comments.
Okay. We have a motion to approve consent items number 1 through 6. Can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Domrat,
Yes.
Commissioner Matoush,
Aye.
Commissioner Chang Corrali,
Aye.
Commissioner Slater Carter, President Zemke.
Yes. Okay. That moves us along to discussion items. The first discussion item, California Consulting Grant Writing Services Contract Renewal. Mr. Moran?
This is a recommendation for the board to receive an update presentation from grant writing consultant, California Consulting. Consider their annual contract proposal for $4,160 per month plus out-of-pocket expenses for an amount not to exceed $50,000 for the year 2024. To continue efforts to identify and apply for available grants applicable to district-approved capital improvement projects and continue supplying required supplemental information for existing grants, as was previously approved in 2020, 21, 22, and 23. We do have California Consulting Representative Michelle Ferguson give us an update on the grant activities over the year and what we're currently looking at as well in the future. And, happy to answer any questions from the board. Go ahead, Michelle.
Hey, well, thank you everybody for letting us come to speak today. We are all looking at the same agenda, but what this is supposed to show is some of the activity that's happened the past year, what we've applied for, what we've been successful, what we haven't been successful with. So can everybody see where it says grants completed and submitted on top?
Melanie, can you, or Eric, can you allow her to share her screen? We're not seeing your screen, Michelle.
Oh, okay, let me see here. Let me share here. Okay, and here we go. Can everybody see the screen now?
Yes.
Okay, great. So just starting off with, we're going to start with what was most recently submitted and then work backwards. So on November the 15th, we submitted the Boating Access Grant Program, which was a really good fit for what San Mateo County Harbor District is looking to fund, basically implementation, construction. And what we asked for was funding to upgrade the launch ramp. And what we were saying is by doing so, we're going to increase the capacity of the harbor. So keeping up with demand. We asked for 4.3 million, and they go through several rounds usually where different municipalities, applicants, organizations submit their submission, and then they kind of go through different competitive rounds. And so the good news is we made it through the first one where they are wanting to fund things like the launch ramp infrastructure, and also making sure that we have the funding that's necessary because it's been difficult to replace some of these things and the wood is deteriorating. It's a safety issue. And so this is for infrastructure, and that is pending. We have high hopes for that. What we were not successful with is the next one, NOAA Marine Debris Removal Program. And I think the issue here, what we're seeing is that when it's a federal type of grant, that really increases the competition by tenfold. And a lot of times what we're hearing back is that they want to fund bigger types of programs or bigger facilities. Here we were very specific with what we were asking. We were asking 1 million to help get rid of this Caleb tugboat that's been sitting there. And the feedback that I got was where they didn't just want it to be one boat, they wanted it to be a whole bunch. And so with that, unfortunately, we will not be getting that. But the next one here, okay, this one, we did get invited to submit a full proposal. This is the Climate Resilience Regional Challenge Grant, also by NOAA. We submitted that on August the 28th, and then we have to submit a full application that we're invited to do by February 13th. For this one, we plan to ask for something around 2.25 million. We also met with several partners where we can say for regional impact, because we don't want what happened before where they said it's not broad enough, it's just one thing. So we're trying to really show that the collaboration is there with different community-based organizations. And so with that one, I it's in development, but that will be also a similar scope to what we're asking with Measure K funding. So that's coming out this year. Now, what we should hear very soon about is the Division of Boating and Waterways Boating Infrastructure Grant. And this is for 1.5 million. And in previous years, it was used for funding to help improve the infrastructure at Pillar Point Harbor. We met with the program officer and they said, this is not really what we're looking to fund. We want to make sure it's recreational transient type boats. And so we shifted the location to Oyster Point Marina, where we could say, this is going to be used to repair and replace docks 12 to 14, and they will be reserved for recreational type activities and transient boats. And that was where there was that competitive round. We went through the first two, and we're just keeping our fingers crossed. So far, it's just been, again, you're seeing pending, because these are the most recent ones that have been submitted. Another one we're going to hear about soon that is a federal one is the Port Infrastructure Development Program, PIDP. This is funded by DOT, so it's the biggest ask, 4.1 million. For this one, we've made it through the third round. We don't know yet what that will look like, but that would be amazing if we did receive this grant. It would be a first time. Now, these next ones here are different grants that are already allocated to the San Mateo County Harbor District, either every year or every other year. And so King Yip, he will submit this one here, surrendered and abandoned vessel exchange. And that does the same thing as what the marine debris LOI did. It helps to remove abandoned vessels from the waterway. And for this one, it says 150,000, but it's actually 80,000. I just talked to King Yip. And then also the one before is administered by Carrie Smith. And this is to obtain equipment such as jet skis that help with the safety of maintaining the safety of the harbor. A grant that we did receive submitted February 1st was Division of Boating and Waterways Boat Launching Facilities Grant. This was for 400,000, and basically what they said is, if we give you this funding to help with planning and design, then it will put us in a prime place to get implementation funding. So if we make sure all our reporting requirements are on time, are submitted, are complete, then we can move on to that second phase. Now, what's currently in the works is with this one here, the Public Beach Restoration Grant Program. That is one that we try to pursue in partnership with a NOAA. Brad Demitz, our consultant. And this is for eelgrass mitigation at Surfers Beach. This typically is due on December 5th. They've delayed it this year. A little bit. It will be soon though. And basically what we will ask for is funds to help with monitoring the monitoring costs that is taking place for eelgrass mitigation, thereby helping to preserve the beach and helping with restoration. Again, here you see Measure K funds that's coming up January 5th. That I'm working together with Noah from Lighthouse Affairs, who's been he's a publicist, and he really helps with helping us to make those relationships where we're getting those letters of support, so it shows regional collaboration. I think that's something that maybe we didn't have as much before. What they fund here is planning, community outreach, and emergency mitigation. We're not really looking to do planning. I think we've completed that, but what we do want to ask for is funding to help with infrastructure related to emergency mitigation. This next one, PWEAA, Noah was also able to get a letter from the where is it? Oh, here. as you can see, MTC bag. And these are the two organizations who submit the SEDS, which is a community economic development documentation that you need to have in order to submit an EDA application. You cannot submit unless that's been submitted. And so we would not be the lead applicant in that, but where we would be able to say that it's included in the SEDS, it's mentioned here, and then with that, we can get a lot of funding, because usually what they want to see here is that we're fostering job growth. And what we want to say is that by building on the facility will help the fishermen with selling their catch, that will attract different types of communities, and basically just making sure that the capacity is there, where if we're asking for this infrastructure improvement, it's actually being accessed. Now, upcoming grants that we have, and you'll see there are a lot of them are the same funding sources. There are only so many, but you know, and we'll differentiate between state and federal, but NOAA is always going to be federal, DOT as well. So those are going to be the big ones, and those are going to be the hardest to get. Now, where we usually have more success is with Division of Boating and Waterways. And that's because we have that relationship with them. We've been very good about remaining compliant with reporting. But I think as someone who, you know, goes through and does the needs sheet and looks at what different types of organizations are likely to fund something like the San Mateo County Harbor District, it's John is really good about telling me to talk to the program officer right away and ask them, is this something we even have a shot at getting? And they will tell you and tell you pretty straightforwardly whether they think this is a good idea, whether they don't think it's a good match, or maybe what can be adapted in the application so that it is something desirable for them to fund. And I think this has been, for me, the most valuable thing, because it's taking that and listening to it and then really ticking off those boxes for what they're asking. And then that's when we're more likely to experience success. So a lot of these are still pending. I do feel like San Mateo County Harbor District started with California Consulting, and I didn't come, it was of someone else providing the grant writing. And then I have been doing it for the last 2 years. And so I feel like the first year was really a learning process just about the 3 different locations, what they do, and the types of amenities, services provided there. And then it was really with the second year when you started to hear, after having those relationships, after learning who are the different engineers I can contact at each location, it's having that knowledge and source, because before that, sometimes it was like I didn't know where to get it or where to look. And so I feel like with, you know, different details like numbers or where we were at with the project in terms of timeline, I didn't have the most updated information or the resources. And I do feel like that is in place now. And I know where to look. So does anyone have any questions?
Any questions from the commission?
No, this is a very clear report. I appreciate all the information that's in print.
Yes, thank you. I mean, I'll move to approve contract to renew it with California Consulting Grant Writing Services.
I'll second that with a not to exceed $50,000, which is in the
In the
inherent
motion, yeah.
Okay. Any public comment on this? I don't believe, we don't have any public here, so. Right. Okay. Any further commission comments on this?
I was just a little concerned over the years, how few contracts California Consulting has come in on, and I'm just glad to see them paying attention to us a little bit better right now.
Yes, and also, Jim had said if we're lucky enough to renew again, that I will get to come and visit in person. So I'll get to see everything and what it looks like, and I think that will make a big difference too in describing, what types of activities are there, what it looks like, just to get. It would really, I think, be valuable to go there in person and be able to see the wonderful things I'm writing about in person.
I believe a field trip would be appropriate to the harbor and really help
And
you out.
welcome,
Yeah. Okay. All right, we have a motion. Can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Mathush,
Aye.
Commissioner Chang Crawley,
Aye.
Commissioner Slater Carter,
I,
President Zemke,
Aye.
Commissioner Domrat.
Okay. We can now move along to item number 2, commemorative bench program at Pillar Point Harbor. Is there a sponsor for this, or?
Joe has been this,
His-
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I had checked in with the committee members, and they asked me just to summarize, and then I'll turn it back over, if that's all right. So, thank you, President Zemke and Commissioners. It was a pleasure to serve, be the staff support for this ad hoc committee. The memorial or commemorative bench program was agendized in September after an inquiry from a member of the public. An ad hoc committee was formed at the direction of the board president to further explore the potential of this program. Commissioner Domrat and Commissioner Chang Crawley volunteered to serve on the ad hoc committee. The committee met twice, but did also quite a bit of work in between both of those meetings. And the consensus was reached by the committee that the district really did have the capacity to bring back this commemorative bench program. But there was some infrastructure and administrative tools that would need to be developed in order to provide some structure to move the program forward and to operate the program. So those draft materials are part of the board package today, along with a draft fee schedule to address the costs of new benches with plaques, plaques on existing benches, rededication of existing benches, along with a waiting list. So the next step in this process could be to authorize staff to publicly post to amend the rates and fees for Pillar Point Harbor to include the commemorative bench program. So that's a summary of where the committee has gone in the last few months, and I'll just conclude with thanking Commissioner Chang Crawley and Commissioner Domrat just for their time and really thoughtful consideration around what it would mean, for the staff at the district to move this forward. And so I appreciate everything that you did during the last few months for this project. Thank you.
I have a question. I didn't read it closely enough, but is there a clause in there to allow the price to float with the cost with a COLA, so that we don't have to be coming back to the board, increasing as costs increase?
That's a wonderful idea. Yes, so I'd be in support of that from an administrative standpoint, but it is not included in the agreement.
I think we don't want to get stuck with old pricing. I see inflation coming in the next couple of years, and I'm very worried about the fact that we need to maintain our accommodation of that for the financial health of the harbor.
Thank you.
Why would that not be considered with the rates and fees that we approve every year for the slips, for instance?
It could be.
I think we need to have, if we do that, we need to have that language in it, in the agreement.
So let me just thank you, Rochelle, for all of the work you've put into George too. I think, I just want to remind everyone, this was an ad hoc committee, so there were no actual noticed meetings and things like that. So, this is being brought to the board for the first time, and I think it is an important program. I think that the member of the public who brought this to our attention, I think has resurrected a conversation that needs to be had. So, I think that Rochelle has done a great job in, moving this forward, and do you want, I guess, since this is an ad hoc committee, it doesn't procedurally have to go back to any other committee, right? So we can just approve this, which is what is being recommended today. So I just wanted so Rochelle, do you want to just talk about like this waiting list thing? Because there is demand for this, and we do have a member of the public who brought it to our attention, and I do think that since she's like brought it to her, she's probably going to be on this waiting list, or how is this going to work
Sure.
logistically right now in real life?
So we do have some benches available currently.
9 of them, right?
We actually did a new head count, so we're at 11.
11, right.
So that is wonderful. So there is some space available for plaques to be placed on existing benches. And once those 11 spaces are committed to, then we would activate a waiting list, very similar what we do for our, let's say our liveaboard permits. And then we would post an update to that waiting list on our website so that people could track where they're at, and have that just be easy to see where they're at on the waiting list.
Whoever wants to apply now can apply for one of the 11, and once that number of applicants exceeds 11, then we will start the waiting list. Is that correct? Okay.
Correct. And we're still a few months away from being able to do that, just with adding the fees to Pillar Point's schedule. So it just takes a little longer. But we would offer those spaces on a first come, first served basis, and we would publicly promote this opportunity so that everybody would have that option, and then it would be first come, first serve for anybody that's
Someone
interested.
could apply now after this gets approved, correct?
Once we have that structure and we advertise, and we'll have a date of when applications would be accepted so that it will be open to the community.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
I want to add, I think this is important with the aging population needing to walk, and the number of people who have length limitations on how far they can walk. I think these are critically important for public health. And I was reading in the Measure K Monday that we are applying for, I think we should put in the fact that we do offer relatively low-income housing with the liveaboards, and this is a public health issue. So I think we can include that too in the Measure K, but having been in a situation with 2 little kids, I was always happy when I could find a bench.
I would just like to again thank Rochelle for all the work. I mean, she did all the work on this. We read a few things and said yes or no. She did a phenomenal job. She mapped out the sites. There's a graphic that shows where all the sites, where all the benches are. I believe you probably walked every site and looked at every one. So a lot of work that she did. So, and also in her report, it does talk about that our committee will get together in 2024 to look at other options besides a bench. We talked about, maybe just something just for the fishermen that we've lost in memoriam, or other kinds of ideas that we'll work on that next year.
Those are great ideas.
I'm sorry?
That's a great idea.
Yeah, there's so.
Used to have it.
There is something, I think, there near the fish cleaning station that I'd like to have moved from the fish cleaning station to closer to the harbor master's office, maybe. I don't know. But we'll look at expanding that or doing, we'll take a look at that early in the calendar year and work on that. I guess the only, I think it was mentioned for the annual fee to be on the waiting list. I'd like to give them something in return. And I guess if we put that waiting list on the website and they're shown there and they're listed there, that may be satisfactory. I mean, I'd hate to have somebody just pay some money to be on a list and it doesn't show up anywhere, or they never know what the status is. So that's a great idea to have the list on the website that they can look at what position they're in. Plus, it buys them a little bit of recognition that, you know, that they're.
Yeah, so my only concern about that was that some people may not want to have their name listed, and I don't know, they might want to protect their privacy as well. I just,
If they're on the bench, their privacy kind
I
of goes
know,
away.
but a waiting list is different from being on the bench, right, I think, but, I don't know, I mean, that's
Point,
something
yeah.
to be discussed later, but I mean, I'm not opposed to it, I just want us to be mindful.
No, I think that's a good point. If, you know,
Because someone can say, well, that person doesn't deserve to be on the, you know, because the public can come in and make comments about why someone shouldn't be on a bench. And why did you put them on the waiting list? And I mean, I just don't want that bickering over something that should be meaningful to a family during a very stressful time sometimes.
no, that's a valid point, something that we can talk.
I just want to be very mindful and conscious of that. But I'll make a motion to approve, resolution 2319, authorizing staff to publish the proposed amendments to the district rates and fees for this commemorative bench program at Hollow Point Harbor.
Okay. Any further comments? I did have one question. Just to make sure that the district reserves the ability to review the language that's put on the plaque. I mean, maybe I'm being paranoid, but I don't want somebody to sum in memory of so-and-so who was a great something that the general population might disagree with, so that they're, you know, maybe it's just a function of living in a currently polarized society that I'm
That's a good
paranoid,
point.
but I think that the district should have the ability that the language on there is not going to be offensive to any party.
I agree.
Do we want to propose like standard language with maybe 2 or 3 options that would be approved, something like that?
Maybe there's a way to kind of
We can put a
suggest.
clause in the application.
That's, yeah, or
Yeah.
limit what people can put on there, like maybe it's just the name and the, yeah, go ahead. I mean,
No, I was gonna say, I can work with the general manager on, you know, of course, this will raise First Amendment issues, so
Right.
whatever
Right.
way we implement it, we have to make sure it's content
I'm
neutral.
not trying to get
Yeah, and
crossways
so I'll
with the
work with
First
the general
Amendment.
manager about what those rules are and how, you know, you can implement it to achieve the purpose that you're trying to achieve here, and possibly report back to you if needed.
but, you know, for the First Amendment issues though, Tricia, I mean, I don't necessarily see, I mean, I see the issue, but I mean, for a commemorative bench, if we limit it to language like in memory of, or in loving memory of, or, you know, and anyone who wants to put anything else on there, I'm not even sure limiting that would be a First Amendment issue if it's commemoration.
It's not, right? That's a content neutral.
Right.
But if, because you're saying this is what it says and we'll insert the name, but if it was something,
But I know what you're saying, but if we say it's a commemorative bench and the language has to be these are the choices, right?
We'll give them some choices.
Right, give you some choices, then is that a violation of the First Amendment? Because,
I think what you're saying is a content neutral regulation. You're not, what would be a problem, and this always, First Amendment is very nuanced, so I can, but if you just had an open-ended commemorative plaque program and you were picking and choosing without that language, that might be a problem. So I will follow up with the general manager, do the First Amendment research, and I think what you're proposing sounds fine, because you're not making decisions about the content. You're saying this is the
this is the
content.
program, right? And this is the language that's with the program. Our commemorative bench program. Okay.
Any further comment? Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Slater Carter?
Yes.
Commissioner Jane Crawley?
Aye.
Commissioner Mathush?
Aye.
Commissioner Domrat?
Yes.
President Zemke.
Yes. Okay, that brings us to item number 3 on the discussion. Effect on district revenues by the cancellation of the 2023 commercial and recreational salmon season off the coast of Central California. Mr. Pruitt.
Good morning, still good morning?
Yes.
Good morning, Commissioner. President Zemke. This is I put the staff report together as a result of a discussion or request. We talked about, at the last board meeting about this issue of effect of the salmon season on the harbors. And specifically, it came up because the California Special Districts Association published an article in their Money Matters section called Navigating the Impact of the Canceled Salmon Fishing Season for Santa Cruz Port District. After reading the article was more of Santa Cruz looking at different revenues to offset the money that they lost because of the salmon season. And their salmon season impacted them a little bit more than us because they're really dedicated, their revenues really come from tourism and visiting their businesses that they have leases on, and also the slips and the slip fees, where Pillar Point Harbor has several more slips than Santa Cruz. We also have different revenue sources than Santa Cruz, specifically the property tax that we receive, and Santa Cruz does not receive any of those directly from the state. They're also a port district underneath the city council or the city of Santa Cruz, where we report directly to the state level. So looking at this, what Santa Cruz did was pull their investment accounts from the state and county investment pools and transferred them all to a company called California Class. And California Class was able to invest their funds and get a bigger rate of return on their investments on a monthly. And it was a significant amount of $50,000 per month for the article. And that offset their $75,000 per month that they were losing to the loss of the salmon season. Again, we weren't impacted that heavily because of our different revenue sources. And we are looking, staff is looking at alternate investment firms besides just the county and the state to help us invest our funds that we have available for investing. It's not ready to come to the full board yet. It will come through the financial committee first, but we are putting together a package for the board to consider in the near future of possibly a different investment strategy. So the article in the CSDA, in my opinion, is more of an ad for California Class than really an article about the salmon season and how California Class was able to give the Port of Santa Cruz additional monies, which is great for them. But it didn't give us any solutions for us on counteracting the loss of the salmon season for our salmon fishermen or our fish buyers.
Is that it? Jim?
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner comments?
I have
Commissioner
a quick
Chantarelli.
Yeah, so I agree with Jim that this was more of an ad for Class. Actually, I think they were at the CSDA conference and did a presentation.
They were.
There. So, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't look at this type of money movement into a different fund that could yield more. And Julie, I mean, I could be wrong, but I mean, we're in an inverted yield curve environment right now.
Yep.
And so we can take advantage of that, even if it's a short, well, I don't want to say short term, I don't think it's going to be less than a year, but a year to 2-3 years, right? It would give us some cushion. I do think that the finance committee should look at this. My fire district actually did shift funds or move funds into the camp funds. And our yield, annual yield is going to be about 5.3%. they're 5.56 or 5.65% return. And, you know, at this point, if we can, I think we moved about 83, 84, $85 million, somewhere in that range. And it's been, I think 84, or 83 anyway, it's been pretty helpful. So I would actually suggest that we look into this and move some of this money into a fund that will take advantage of this inverted yield curve environment. And I don't know what that amount is going to be. And maybe you can, Julie, help determine that. I want to say the majority of the fire district's money has been moved there. And we moved our money there, I want to say a few months ago, like in August. So we're already, you know, getting some advantage from that move.
In the last few months, we've been looking at or talking with other investment firms about what they can yield and what they can offer us. So we've already started on that before the class article came out.
Yeah.
And Julie's been doing a fantastic job. It's not ready for prime time yet, but again, we're early in the year, we plan on bringing it to the finance committee.
Okay, so, are we looking at financial advisors for the, what do we, I don't even know. I'm not on the finance committee, so I'm sure it's in here somewhere.
Yeah, the activities that
Yeah.
have been done so far is we actually talked, we had a meeting with the county treasurer's department to see kind of the pluses and minuses of moving our funds from that perspective. And we've been talking with one investment firm that had reached out to us to offer their help. If the fee goes above $10,000 in a quote, then we'll be obligated to go out for RFP or at least get 3 quotes from different investment firms. Because we invest, or that we're in the process of purchasing this land, the amount that we have to invest might bring that amount down so that that investment cost is within just, you know, going forward with one company.
Okay, so I also sit on the Treasurer's Oversight Committee, and so I'm just letting you know that they've also moved funds into camp. And I think is it PFM who does camp? Anyway, I'm not saying pick one, I'm just saying that's who the county treasurer's office uses, and I think, and for sure the fire district uses it. So it's just another option to look at if you want to look at that. So I'm just throwing that out there. Thank you.
Oh, Commissioner Slater Carter, your comment?
I just wanted to say that this is a perfect example of how our tax dollars are used to protect this district. The Santa Cruz Port District doesn't have property tax dollars, as noted in the report. And our ability to fill our mission is substantially based on that. And our mission is substantially driven by the fact that we are a countywide property tax supported district. So when I hear people talk about property tax dollars and what a waste it is to spend on frivolous things like a harbor that I don't use, it is an important public health and family entertainment asset in addition to being a place to buy fish and a place to park your boat. So I thank you, Jim, for having this on here, because it does show that tax dollars can be used wisely. And thank you very much.
But we need to also take advantage of investment vehicles that have low risk so that we can maximize our returns, so that we're investing responsibly the tax dollars that we're entrusted to manage.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a mission, that goes without saying.
Yeah. So thanks for looking into this, Jim and Julie.
Any further commissioner comments? And I see we have no members of the public here, so I assume, do we have any public comments that came in, do you know?
No
Melanie?
public comments.
Okay.
We have item 7 from the consent agenda.
Right, we can move along to the next item, which is item 7 from the consent calendar. Holiday and floating holiday policy.
Yeah, so thanks for letting me talk about this. So I'm actually in support of it. I just wanted to make sure, and I know it's like in the MOUs, and maybe it should be stated in here, what what the compensation would be for employees who actually work on those days, because we have to have coverage, right? So it's not in here, but should it be in here just as a reiteration of?
We can put in the current policy contained in the MOU, which is,
I mean, it refers to the MOU, but not for the compensation piece.
the operating engineers, Local 3, they receive regular rate of pay on holidays for their regularly scheduled shift. So up to 12 hours that day, they get their regular hourly rate. If they go beyond their regular hourly rate on a holiday, it's double time instead of just time and a half. But in lieu of getting the time and a half on a holiday, because a lot of times their schedules conflict and they have to work those holidays, they receive 124 hours of float that they can take at any time that replaces those 8 holidays, or the 13 holidays.
I know, but what I'm saying is that this policy makes it look like that no one's gonna be there to work those shifts. That's what, I mean, I'm not saying that's the case, but I mean,
And I can add currently, operating engineer Local 3 members receive 124 hours of float, or 124 float hours in lieu of holidays, receiving straight time for their regular shift for regularly on recognized holidays.
okay.
I can add that sentence.
I would
I'll
just so that
clean it
it's
up a
clear
little bit.
to the public, if anyone asks, this is on, it just doesn't look, it looks like no one's manning the ship, so to speak, based on this.
At least that's what's being currently discussed.
Yeah. Well, so,
Current policy is 100 hours.
yeah, so I would put the current policy in there until
Something
update.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is it in the MOU?
Yes.
that's what I'm saying.
Couldn't you just say something more general for the policy, because this is a general policy?
That's
So
true.
couldn't you just say
It
something?
refers back to the MOU, but even in this current one, there's nothing that refers back to compensation in the MOU. It just talks about,
We can make that happen.
right, I mean, that's what I'm saying, it just, I mean, it says it covers the employees, I mean, I don't know, I would maybe put something about, it covers, it's covered under the OE3 MOU.
I can just keep the
With
number.
with compensation, just say compensation.
As provided in the MOU?
Yeah, something like that, something that shows that
I'll do that.
there are people who are gonna be working at the harbor on the holidays, right?
I'll put in a general statement that we don't have to update with the MOU.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so otherwise, now I'll make a motion to approve the revision to the district's holidays and floating holidays policy with the amended language about compensation from the MOU with OE3, current one. Does that work?
I'll second that.
Okay.
Okay, seeing no member of the public. Melanie, did we get any public comment on this? I don't think so.
No public comment.
Okay, good. Any further commission comment? Okay. We have a motion to approve the policy. Can we have a roll call, please?
President Zemke,
Aye?
Commissioner Domrat, Commissioner Mathush,
Aye.
Commissioner Chang Crawley,
Aye.
Commissioner Slater Carter.
Yes.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is closed sessions on public performance evaluation and conference on labor negotiations. Did we receive any public comment on these items, Melanie?
No public comment.
Okay. At this time, then, we will go into closed session. And
What about, we wait for item 7 after closed session?
No, we
so we just did that.
Oh, we just did that. Okay.
After
yeah.
the normal
Right.
discussion.
Then we will come back into regular session for additional discussion items after the closed session. Okay?
Progress.
Okay, we are back in session, having completed our closed session. Only reportable items is that we did give a evaluation to the general manager and the labor negotiators, except the labor negotiators report. We're on to item number H, amendment of, amendment of employment contract for general manager. Commissioner Mateusz and I had a meeting with the, to discuss a contract amendment to our general manager's contract. This would be amendment number 3, which would cover the 4th year of his employment here, and reached agreement on that. There are basically 3 things that will be different or changes to the employment contract. Number 1, the term of the agreement is changed from a termination date of 2024 to 2028 to indefinite. The compensation is increased by the cost of living adjustment of, I think it's 2.8%. And the housing allowance is established for an amount of $800 a month. That's the only changes to the contract. Do we have any comments from the commission?
I'll make it. Sure. Jim, thanks for all that you've done for the district. I think you're a great representative, and I think the public has confidence in the districts and our operations thanks to you, to your leadership, and also the working relationship that you have with your staff, particularly John and Julie. And so I just want to thank y'all for all the great work, and Melanie too, for all the great work that you do and will continue to do.
Well, I'd like to second that and say it's a pleasure working with you. Thoughtful and even better, direct. You don't mince words, and people can trust you for that. So you're probably one of the reasons I ran for the board, to be honest. And the progress this board has made since, and as people know, I've been observing it for about 40 years, the distance, but the progress this board has made in the last few years between Virginia and Tom and hiring you and the excellent staff that hung on through very difficult times has turned this into a top-tier special district. And I'm proud to be a part of your team. Thank you.
Thank you.
I will echo those comments as well. And it's been a pleasure as president of the board this past year is to work with Jim, and he has been very responsive when items come up, and I think does a great service to this body.
Motion
You're
to
not
approve
done
amendment number 3 to the employment agreement for the general manager of the San Mateo County Harbor District.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve amendment number 3 to the general manager's contract. Can we have a roll call, please?
President Zemke,
Aye.
Commissioner Donrat,
Aye.
Commissioner Mateusz.
Aye.
Carter.
Proudly, yes.
Okay. Moving along to item number H2, salary schedule and special compensation. Julie, Is this one yours?
President Zemke, item H12 ensures that the district comply with California Code of Regulations, which requires that the pay schedule and special compensation be publicly available and duly approved and adopted by the board. The attached salary schedule is effective January 1st, 2024, and updated to include the general manager's salary to match the previous agenda item. Staff recommends that the board make a motion to approve the salary schedule.
I'll move to approve the amended salary schedule to increase to include the increase in the general manager's salary pursuant to the employment contract that we just approved.
Do we need an amendment to that motion? Because we've also got, we need the publicly available salary schedule as well. And I believe that motion just limits us to the one item. And
No, I think she was just recognizing that this salary schedule includes the salary that we just approved
approved.
in the last.
well, the motion doesn't mention the publicly available for all the other positions. Your last page in your agenda.
Oh, I'm looking at the agenda item. Are you looking at the report, Tom?
Yeah, it's about,
Go to the very last page, and it's not covered by that
And so
motion.
the items that were changed, I believe online are colored in red. On your copies, it might just be black, but basically the board already approved the salary schedule.
Last
All
time,
the
yeah.
published rates and fees that are already on it. This is just an amended salary schedule that will be publicly available and replace our publicly available salary schedule now. Does that clarify?
okay, we okay there? All right. I assume, there's no members of the public here. Melanie, we haven't gotten any public comments on this, have we?
No public comment.
Was there a second to that, my motion?
I'll second.
Okay. So it's been moved and seconded that we approve the salary summary and special compensation listing for the Harbor District. Can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Domrat,
Aye.
Commissioner Mathush,
Aye.
Commissioner Chang Corrali,
Aye.
Commissioner Slater Carter,
Yes.
President Zemke.
Aye. Okay, that brings us to future agenda items. Does any? Yes, Virginia.
And it may actually be on a future agenda already, or being planned to be, is just the look at the, and an analysis, or even just a preliminary analysis on what kind of return we would get with our funds to class or camp, one of those, or any of them. So I know it'll be, I think it might be planned already to be on a future agenda item.
Yes, that'll be part of the
Do you know,
package we're putting together for the finance committee.
do you know when it'll come to the board?
As long as the finance committee is available to meet prior to the January 1st or January board meeting, then we can put it on the
January 17th
January 17th.
is
So-
the board meeting.
All right, so I'll contact Commissioner Mathush and Commissioner Slater Carter and see if we can get that finance committee meeting scheduled.
I think it's important enough to get this looked at pretty quickly.
I agree.
So that's all I have.
Okay, any other future agenda items? Okay, I guess I can entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved.
Can you second it?
Okay.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn, and I would like to do that, wishing everyone a very happy holiday season. Can we have a roll call, please?
President Zemke,
Aye.
Commissioner Chang Corrali,
Aye.
Mr. Slater Carter,
Yes.
Commissioner Mathush,
Aye.
Commissioner Domrat.
Aye.
Very well, we're adjourned.
Happy holidays, everyone. Jingle, jingle, jingle.